Gym class had to be the wildest class in school. Do you remember that one kid that had ultra instinct while playing dodgeball and could never get hit? These are the things that happen in school gym class. The first thing that we all encounter in gym class that could drastically impact the experience you'll have is the type of dress code you have to follow. Some are really chill like my high school was, and you only had to wear sneakers in order to play. One of the rare school W's. On the other hand, make you feel that you went to the boot camp from SpongeBob. Like my middle school, you were required to not only wear sneakers, but you weren't allowed to wear jeans or any other types of pants except only one, sweatpants, or they prevent you from participating. But also the terrible, scratchy, and unbreathable school uniforms they provided, which made doing any physical exercise in them a complete nightmare. Especially combine that with how sweaty you can get while playing games, and your skin will feel like you're wearing a rug. Probably one of the top 10 worst experiences to feel in school. But it was even worse in my elementary school, as they took this to the next level, which had one of the stupidest rules I've ever encountered. As if you wanted to play gym, on top of everything I just previously listed you had to wear in my middle school, you then had to wear a blue shirt to even play. Why? Even in middle school, if you didn't have the uniform, they just send you to the office to get one of the crusty ones. But at least you didn't have to wear it over your body and they'd still allow you to play. But this just makes no sense. But to prevent this, you have to go to the one place that scares even your worst nightmares away to change into something more appropriate: the boys' locker room. The boys' locker room only comes second to the school bathroom for the most grotesque, rancid, and agonizing place that somebody would ever have to encounter. And there's a lot of questionable things that you'll see when going into the boys' locker room. First, we got the fights. Usually whenever there's beef that needs to be settled as soon as possible, guys are setting up appointments like they're going to the doctor's office to give some hands. And guys treat this as if they're going to watch the World Cup, making bets, choosing sides, and instigating their gloves off. And initially to scrap here is a decent idea, as nobody could really see them. However, there's one big problem that none of these kids even think of, and that is when everyone sees like 10 kids run into the boys' locker room unprovoked and don't come out, and somebody has to figure out what's going on. Then we have the music blasters, or their other title, the biggest idiots in gym class. As y'all know, as soon as one track begins to play and the gym teacher hears it, everyone is getting punished harder than when your shield gets broken in Smash Ultimate. Then we go from idiot to the person that lets their intrusive thoughts win. We have the climber, and there's nothing these guys won't climb. Lockers, each other, the door, but no climber stands out to me more than this one kid in my 8th grade class. We'll call him Garcia. One day in the middle class, Garcia and a couple others, including myself, were in the boys' locker room while the gym teacher wasn't looking, and there was an open chair that was sitting in the locker room that wasn't being used. Garcia then takes the chair to boost himself over the locker, but he wasn't done right there. He then opens up the window right on top of the locker and just straight up leaves. We were all dying of laughter as the teacher had no idea what was going on. Speaking of the gym teacher, because all of us were moving as fast as a New York City train at the beginning of the period, the gym teacher comes into the locker room to tell all of us that we're moving as fast as Gary and are taking too long to get ready. And this has happened so many times in all my gym classes, which usually suck because it takes away from our playtime. But the worst thing about the boys' locker room has to be one thing, and let's all say it together on 3. 1, 2, 3. Axe body spray spammers. These people have to be easily top 3 worst types of kids to encounter in school, as after class is over, everyone's already musty and you could barely even breathe. As you turn around, you can't even stop it, as the guy whips out a full can of Axe body spray and proceeds to absolutely smoke himself and use the whole can on himself right then and there. At least with the vapors, even though what they do is really bad, they can at least get something out of it. With Axe body spray spammers, everyone loses, including them, as now on top of being musty, now nobody can breathe. And for someone who has asthma, whenever I saw someone pull out the Axe body spray, I was like, dang, not again. But besides Axe body spray spammers, there are other types of kids in class. The first type of kids you'll see in gym class are the ones that go AFK in one corner while everyone else is playing. And it's okay if somebody doesn't want to play, but you know what happens to the kids who just stand in one place. They end up getting sniped, like Patrick after Kyle accidentally kicked the soccer ball the wrong way. If this is you, please find a safe place to go AFK and not do it within the blast zone. The next type of kids actually do this really well. The kids that skip or hide in the boys' locker room while the class is going on. And I understand what they're thinking. Who cares about gym class? But unlike bold and brash, this does not belong in the trash as soon as they take a look at their grades. These are the same kids that have low C's or are failing gym class. How are you failing gym class when the only thing you have to do is just play? One of the biggest L holders in school. Speaking of L's, these next kids hate taking them and make gym class a pain to be in, and we all know who they are: the Tryhards, or their other title, the kids that suck the fun out of everything in gym class and treat every game as if they're tied in the NBA finals. If you even make a slight mistake around them, they will absolutely lose it. And I understand their competitive nature, but they must understand most kids they play against in gym class haven't even engaged with sports equipment in year as they do in a month, so having such explosive reactions against them is both pointless and a problem. The problem these next types of kids exploit is they are arguably one of the best in this class, the gym trolls, the kids that pretend they have absolutely no idea what's going on and how to play, only for them to just style on the Tryhards and cause them to lose it. It's always entertaining to see some of the most chillest people you'll ever meet, and then we have some very interesting people. My middle school had a divided gym class for both boys and girls for one reason. One day a few years before I reached middle school, my gym teacher told a story to us that during one of his classes, a girl and a guy, who we'll call Caleb and Roxanne, had gone missing while the whole class was playing a game. And when he went looking for them, he went into his office, and what he saw next is the reason why we have divided gym class. Apparently Caleb had ordered the succulent surprise, whatever that means, in his office, and was caught by not only him, but a couple other students that just so happened to see it as well at the same time. Things were no longer fun for the both of them. My gym teacher was a bit of a talker though, but there are other types of gym teachers out there. First, we have the best ones, the chill gym teachers. These are the ones that if you have them, make sure you take no days with them for granted because they are good and hard to come by. These are the types of teachers that as soon as they take attendance will allow you to play whatever game you want, give them no issues, and your life in their class will be legendary. The next type, however, will make your life worse though. The drill sergeants, gym teachers, want to act like we're in the military and microanalyze every little thing you do, and he better not catch you and others slacking off during warm-ups or you're all getting collectively punished. But the worst things I've seen these teachers do is give worksheets. Yeah, you heard me right. We had to do worksheets in gym. What am I going to be doing with this? Where am I going to place it? The school supplies list never asks for them. Why are we doing worksheets in gym? But we'd all much rather have chill or even the strict gym teachers over this next one, the creepy gym teachers. These ones are rare, but if you know, you know. I've spent a lot of times around guys who've had a lot of failed Riz attempts, and whenever they come in contact with girls, the way how they talk to them is just very similar. Just keep Chris Hansen on speed dial. But enough about teachers, let's talk about games. There are many different types of games that we would play in gym class. Some were mid and others were amazing. The first we have is basketball, an easy S tier game, always fun to play. I even went to my after school games to watch my high school play against other teams. Then we have soccer or football, another easy S tier like basketball. But my favorite parts about soccer was trolling my middle school team when we used to play. I would always purposely aim in between the legs of our team players, and they would always get caught off guard when that happened. Tennis, or more specifically table tennis, gets a B for me. If you're playing with a friend, this game could get pushed up to like an A, but my high school would pair us up randomly, and it was okay, but not my type of game. Dodgeball is a solid A tier game for me because it's a fun game and with all of the UI memes. But the only thing that holds it back for me is that A, getting sniped in the face isn't the funnest thing in the world, and B, playing dodgeball is rare here in New York City. Like, for some reason why, they made it illegal here, so I haven't had that much time to play it. Volleyball always gets an S from me, especially once you could get a game going. Just watching everybody work together and the ball going across the field is just great. Cricket, this gets a C for me. I just personally find it boring. Everybody collectively groaned on the days our teachers announced we were going to be playing cricket, and then we get to the ultimate S tier pick, Ultimate Frisbee. My high school had an obsession with this game, and I don't blame them. This game was fun, and unlike soccer or basketball, where some kids clearly were better, everyone was on an even playing ground, and it didn't take us that long to really make this game into our own. Some of the moves that people used to make were insane. Guys used to slide on the ground as if they were in a movie to catch the frisbee. Overall, 10 out of 10. This game rizzed me up pretty well. But the best time in gym class is in these two different types of scenarios. First, when the gym teacher says that on this day, we're going to be doing these two words, free play, and everyone gets so hyped because you could just do whatever you want and nothing will happen to you. These were usually kept on the days before holidays and or the final days of school, and they were always amazing to do. And second, when the gym teacher says this, we're going outside. And let me tell you, free play outside in the fresh air in the morning while playing with your friends just hits different. Things are just so great. This is so different compared to other classes. There isn't anything that could ruin this class. Wait, what's that sound? You walk into class one day expecting to have a good time, a great getaway from the monotony from your other classes, only to get stopped by your gym teacher as they tell all of us that we're going to be doing the fitness test. And there is a collective groan because the class knows that even if we do complete the fitness test as fast as possible, our playtime will be greatly reduced. And trying to get even through one of these tests for a lot of people is incredibly painful, let alone all of them. The first test we used to do was the crunches test, testing our core strength. Everyone found this one to be the easiest, and if you didn't even want to do it right, you could just cheat speed by lifting up your neck. Usually our gym teacher would have like 15 of us doing it at once and didn't check if any of us were cheating, but just doing reps. Then we have the push-up test. Now let me tell you, I have seen some weird positions when kids that have not even thought of doing push-ups are then suddenly forced to partake in doing them. First, we got the back push-up, when somebody has a bigger hump in their back than a camel, and will probably feel like one as well after they pull their back. Then we got the goofy push-ups, when the form is completely messed up and you're wondering, how is this person not in agony? Oh wait, they probably are, and will be feeling the pain for the next week and a half. And then we get the fast pushers, as these kids always get the teachers upset. I remember back in 10th grade, I was doing mine a bit too quick, and my gym teacher nearly had a meltdown and told me to slow down. But my speed on that day doesn't compare to the true speed of a pusher. These kids put the Flash to shame with how fast they could put out reps. They might even rival Bruce Lee with how developed their fast twitch muscle fibers are. But all of these tests are nothing in compared to the last one. Are you ready? It's time for the pacer. Going through the pacer test always sends me through the most emotions I will have in a matter of 15 minutes. First, we got the anxiety, as you got like 10 kids with you, and mostly everyone is just watching while you hear that guy narrating the rules. As it gets closer to the beginning, the tension starts to build up, and you're only thinking one thing: please be over already. But sad for you, it's only just begun. While you run, there are 3 different types of kids when we take the pacer test. The first, we have the goal people, who only have one goal, and that is just to make the amount of laps that the teacher says to make, which in my high school was like 30. So once we reached 30, all of them would just walk off, which I assume was most of us, because if most of them did more than 30, some parents may have to sue the school after the condition they'd find their children in. Then we have the people who want to run longer, and they'll usually push longer, eating away at our free time, and there's only about a handful of them, and they are drenched in sweat, and push between 35 and about 80 laps. And then we have the absolute machines. These kids are who the pacer test was made for. These kids' combined lap totals would equal the amount the rest of the other class ran combined. These kids work way too hard, as I ran 60 less laps than they did, but we both still got the same grade. I don't know who would want to do over 100 laps in the pacer test, but I gotta respect it. To mentally torture yourself in regular classes only to come here to put yourself through physical pain is some next level stuff. Truly one of the craziest types of kids in school. But what was your experience like in gym class? And tell me what you'd like to see next. Consider leaving a like and subscribing, and I'll see you next time in the sanctuary.